And it's called the United Launch Alliance because Boeing merged with Lockheed to be more competitive against the other companies of the world. Because they're getting tough, folks. Putting satellites up is a business nowadays, and it is tough. We got some of the best rockets and some of the best satellites in the world, and we're losing ground even though we got the best. I don't know why, but we've got some good rockets and some good technology. Now that rocket to the right is a Delta IV, and it's going to launch a weather satellite. It is called a geostationary operational environmental satellite, letter P. Goes P. Don't laugh at me. Because after we get it up there, we're going to go to GOES 15. And O and P are working together as a team. This will be the third one. This will be the last one of that team. And so we're going to launch it on March the 2nd. Now, they moved it back by 1 day recently. March the 2nd between 6:19 and 7:19 p.m. They just did that last night, I believe. They moved it back. So let's take a look at this rocket. There's 5 versions of a Delta IV rocket. This is a medium small version, not the smallest, but right next to the smallest. Now, if it were a big one, there'd be 3 gigantic, same size boosters on each side. Is this the opening right? There's the rocket right there. You see the boosters on it? If it were a big one, you see 3 big orange ones. There's that rocket, folks. ULA, United Launch Alliance, not USA, United Space Alliance. They used a laser to put the concrete down. Now, they don't have to call it flat. It's level because it fixes the curvature of the Earth. And this is slight, it's very, very slight. You can't even measure it with your naked eye. But they measure it with lasers. Delta IV rockets are taking over. We can have one up and nothing flat. They're very powerful. Some of the most powerful ones are over 2 million pounds of thrust. Now, folks, the next pad coming up is pad 40. And we were just talking about him, weren't we? Pad 40 is where we launched our Titan 4Bs. And the Titan 4B rocket just hydraulic, like I told you about. Very expensive, very deadly, very reliable, but extremely expensive. So we got rid of it. And it's pretty hard to put together, too, so they've got a better system now. But on that pad right there is a new hangar. I can see the hangar from here for the Falcon 9 rocket. Elon Musk is the CEO of SpaceX. He started 3 companies. He sold PayPals on the computer. Remember PayPals? He sold that. He took that money and purchased the right to launch his new rocket right there. Now, he has a contract with NASA to launch right there this year and dock at the space station with supplies. 9 Merlin engines. Dragon capsule, I think he was thinking of King Arthur when he named things. The Dragon capsule can hold as many as 10 astronauts. And once we get supplies up there, and he gets that thing approved by NASA, he can launch astronauts right there and dock at the space station. And the main thing he's looking for is to launch you. And I don't think it's going to cost $32 million. I mean, it may be maybe $200,000 or $300,000, but not $32 million. I don't know what it's going to charge. We'll wait and find out. But there's going to be room for 10 of them up there. Probably more than 300 would be my guess. More than that. Oh, does he? There's pad 40, and you can see the new white hangar at the base. At one time, on that location was the largest movable gantry in the world. And they blew it up about a year and a half ago. Was it a year and a half ago? About a year and a half ago. And they salvaged it. As a matter of fact, the company that salvaged it got to keep all the money for themselves, just by getting rid of it. So they blew it up. And so now that has been turned over to the civilians right there. Elon Musk has bought the rights to use that pad. Now, is this the longest? Here's the smallest pad right here, I believe it is. Pad 43, right over here. This is where they send up sounding rockets for weather right here, sometimes. Have you ever used this recently, you know? Right over here someplace? Not recently. But years ago, out in the ocean, when we didn't have a real good system, a warning to people about the launches here, they were told, look for the red ball. There's a tower over here to your forward right. There's a gigantic red ball. They hoisted it up. When you saw the red ball, get out of the way. And the ships that didn't have any communications on them, the helicopters would fly out and get them out years ago. But over here, this is pad 40, where Elon Musk will soon launch his Falcon 9 rocket with Merlin engines. 9 of them. Boy, that sounds neat. I can't wait to see him do that. He says he can put that rocket up in about 5 hours. Is that right, sir? About 5 hours and launch that thing. I'd like to see that. But anyhow, that's his old hangar right there. It's not a very big rocket, but it's a very powerful rocket. I will say that. He's done a good job. Now, folks, we got another very interesting launch coming up on Pad 41 that I can't wait to see. It's going to be at nighttime, and I hope they bring the rocket out during the day so we can get a good picture of it. It's the X-37B. Have you heard of it? It is a space plane on top of a rocket. They closed that idea down for a while back. They said, you're done. You're not going to do that. Now, this is back on the agenda. 37B is built by Boeing. It's a big, long thing. It's got a fin tail on the back, kind of like spread apart. It has an automated system. It's got a payload bed that opens up, and you can put the satellite out by remote control. Blockhouse, bleach house to the right. There's the astronaut bleach house. They had parties over there during the Apollo days and during the Gemini days, Mercury days. There used to be a big fence over there, and they would yell over to the wives when they were in quarantine. That's the place that you saw on television on. That's the beach house. They took the showers out so they couldn't have any more parties. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they have a conference. Yeah, because there are a lot of cars there. The government would not give them any money to fix that house up unless they got rid of the showers. Now, folks, over here on the left, I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what somebody said. This is Pad 41. And this is the Atlas V pad, the Lockheed Atlas V pad. And folks, on this pad right here, let's see what day was that again? Oh, the 19th of April, at around 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., we're going to launch the X-37B. And I'm going to be out here with my camera on that day. I can't wait to see that thing go up. That is going to be very, very impressive. That thing can be in space 270 days and land by remote control at Vanderbilt Air Force Base in California. That's where it's going to land. We're going to launch it here. 363 feet long, 3-stage rocket. The first stage would generate 7.7 million pounds of thrust. It had 5 F1 engines on it. Each one produced over 1.5 million pounds of thrust. And it used kerosene for fuel. The second stage was liquid hydrogen, and it used, I think, 5 J2 engines, I believe, that produced 1.1 million pounds of thrust. The third stage used 1 J2 engine that would produce about 225,000 pounds of thrust. And the rocket was a 36-story rocket, right on this pad over here. There's the ocean to the right. See the ocean? We're real close to the ocean here. Yes, ma'am. Oh, okay. Now, folks, on this pad that we're confronting here, that's coming up to the left, that was the pad where practically everybody went to the moon from. The power pad where you see all those lightning masks, that's Pad B. That's where Apollo 10 launched from. But Apollo 10 was the only launch from Pad B. All the others were launched right here on Pad 8. Now, folks, everybody that walked on the moon launched right here on Pad 8, including Mr. Neil Armstrong. Apollo 11 was the first launch to the moon. Apollo 8 was the first launch of people walking on the moon. The first launch to the moon was Apollo 8. Now, here's the problem. The Saturn 1B pad, Pad 34, we just had, was a 2-stage rocket. The first stage had H1 engines that would produce 1.6 million pounds of thrust. The second stage used 1 J2 engine that produced 225,000 pounds of thrust. That rocket could launch the command module, the service module, but it did not have enough power to launch the LEM as well. It could launch 2, but not all 3. And besides that, the LEM wasn't ready to go. So when we launched Apollo 8 to the moon, the LEM wasn't ready, had been checked out. That's why they did not land on the moon on Apollo 8. But Apollo 11, they landed on the moon. They launched right here on this pad right here. It launched here on July the 16th, 1969 at 9:32 in the morning. They landed on the moon on the 20th of July, 1969 at 4:17 in the afternoon, then Eastern time. They walked on the moon 2 minutes until 11. I sat at the edge of my seat from 4:17 to 2 minutes to 11 when they finally walked out. I was absolutely flabbergasted. Man, I had drank a lot of Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, popcorn, and everything but beer. This is pad A right here, Chile. From this pad right here, we launched the SS number 1, the Columbia. We also launched the first Saturn V rocket, Apollo 4, on November the 9th, 1967. The first Saturn V rocket was launched right here. Now, folks, we're approaching Pad B. John Glenn was lost on Pad B when he was 77 years old in 1990. See this guy right here at the helm is still hoping. This is Pad B. These towers are 603 feet tall. The lightning mast is 100 feet tall. There's a pentagon of cables between them, and they'll pull the energy out of the sky to completely wipe away a lightning bolt, so it wouldn't even happen. On this pad right here, years ago, 15 years ago, there was a fence here that was straight up and down, 10 feet high, chain link. This one here is a steady fence, it's curved. And the security guys used to take a picture of a 7-foot alligator climbing over the fence. No kidding. Not this one here, though. An alligator can't climb over this fence, but the old one could. And we want to save their lives if we can. Okay. And there's a camera mount right there. 6 camera mounts around the pad. And now we don't need as many cameras. The cameras are much better today than they used to be. Maybe 4 or 5 cameras. We used to have 13 cameras, maybe 14. Right here.
Fat quick.
Feckwick.
Fat wick.
Fat Quig.